EastEnders viewers believe they've finally figured out who's set to make a dramatic comeback to Walford, and it could spell the end for Ravi Gulati's dangerous drug empire. Fans of the long-running BBC One soap will recall that Ravi dipped back into the world of illegal substances after Bernie Taylor swiped a hefty sum from the family's finances, pushing them dangerously close to collapse. Following a tense phone call and a stern caution from Nicola Mitchell, Ravi decided to stash the drugs in his car and hired his right-hand man, Oki, to handle the distribution. He later struck an agreement with Harry Mitchell to keep the vehicle hidden at the Arches, but Kojo's unexpected discovery of the drugs quickly sent things spiraling. Panicking, Kojo took the stash home and flushed it away, forcing Harry to clean up the mess by joining Ravi's operation in an effort to protect his best friend. Ravi and Oki soon began using Kojo's apartment as a base for their dealings, a decision that's brought nothing but chaos. At first, Kojo was given pills to help him relax, but soon he was being roped into running drug deliveries around London on Oki's orders. This week, Nicola stepped in to settle Harry's debt with Ravi, but her intervention came too late to save Kojo. Her ex, Teddy, decided to take matters further, planting a secret camera inside the flat. However, with the camera now exposed and Ravi tightening his grip on Harry, the situation has become increasingly volatile, and fans are wondering what comes next. Many believe that Ravi's half-brother, Kheerat Panesar, might be the one destined to take him down once and for all. Who is Kheerat Panesar in EastEnders? The much-loved character last appeared in November 2022, when he chose to take the blame for Ranveer Gulati's death, a killing that was, in truth, committed by his mother, Suki. Viewers will remember that Ranveer attacked Suki, and in defending herself, she struck him, an action that initially seemed to cause his death. But the real murderer turned out to be Ravi, who finished off his adoptive father, still alive at the time, while helping Suki cover up the incident. Kheerat, desperate to shield his mother from imprisonment, selflessly sacrificed his own freedom to protect her. What are fans saying? When will we finally see Kheerat again? I'm sick of Ravi's evil antics, wrote Rishi on X. Another user, TetaPolice12, added, just bring Kheerat back already. He needs to put Ravi in his place. And Fantam chimed in with, it's time Ravi got what's coming to him, and Kheerat walked free. So, could the writers be setting the stage for Kheerat's long-awaited return, and perhaps justice at last in Albert Square? Joel brutally attacked Vicky, and Ben returned to Albert Square. Joel's violent outburst towards Vicky was deeply distressing to witness. This week's EastEnders felt like a tale of two halves. It began slowly and somewhat dull, but concluded with one of the soap's most powerful and harrowing episodes in recent memory. The week kicked off with the underwhelming and rather brief return of Ben Mitchell, along with yet another round of the tiresome drug-dealing plot involving Teddy and Ravi. But it wrapped up with a chilling escalation of Joel's toxic behavior towards women, an episode that was uncomfortable, intense, and sure to earn some acting accolades. Here's our full take on the week's dramatic highs and lows. Ben's return fell flat. When news broke that Ben Mitchell was heading back to Walford, excitement was high, but his reappearance failed to deliver much spark. The problem? It just didn't matter. Callum's father's death didn't stir much emotion, and the lack of chemistry between Callum and Johnny meant their scenes lacked impact too. Besides, Ben had previously told Callum not to wait for him, so it's hardly fair for him to be angry now that Callum moved on. That said, we did enjoy being reminded how much we still can't stand Stuart. Ben's sarcastic remark about him buying babies was a great moment, and Stuart's snarky comeback when Ben claimed he hadn't killed anyone, this time, was darkly funny. Teddy vs. Ravi. The ongoing drug storyline remains hard to follow, a messy tangle of villains betraying one another. It's like a game of who's the worst guy here? Kojo continues to be the only truly sympathetic one, while everyone else seems trapped in a web of deceit and crime. Still, Teddy's deeper involvement adds an intriguing edge. This round went to Ravi after Kojo found the secret camera and wrongly blamed George. We're hoping the plot throws in a few more surprises soon, because it's teetering on the edge of dull. And is it just us, or is gentle, soft-spoken Teddy with his pastel jumpers somehow scarier than Ravi? Suki and Eve's baby plans. Suki and Eve have started exploring adoption, a surprising turn given Eve's past insistence that she didn't want children. But honestly, this feels like a recipe for trouble. As Priya pointed out, Suki's track record as a mother isn't great. One child dead, another in prison, and a third living abroad. Not exactly ideal credentials. And while age isn't a barrier, it does add another layer of challenge. We'd actually prefer to see them consider fostering. It could bring new emotional depth to their relationship and fresh drama for viewers. Joel's story takes a disturbing turn. Then came the final episode of the week, the one that left everyone shaken. Joel's misogyny took a dark, physical turn. The episode opened with Amy racing through the square, visibly upset after something at school. At first, it seemed like we'd missed a scene, but it quickly became clear that the focus was on everyone's reaction to Joel's behavior rather than the incident itself. The writing was sharp, showing how adults downplayed what Joel did, while the teens struggled to articulate their discomfort. It was great to see younger cast members shine. Ellie Dad, Amy, Aaliyah James, Avani, and Freddie Phillips Will all delivered heartfelt performances. Meanwhile, Kat and Alfie were trying to handle Tommy's troubling attitude. Alfie, as usual, resorted to helpless hand-wringing, while Kat stayed strong, insisting they needed to have countless honest conversations with their son about his dangerous mindset. Sonny Kendall, Tommy, was phenomenal in those scenes, as was Max Marshall, Joel, who managed to portray Joel's inner turmoil and cruelty with chilling realism. The beating that shocked Walford. Things finally reached a terrifying climax when Joel, left alone with his stepmother Vicky, completely unraveled. The tension that had been simmering for weeks exploded into violence in one of the soap's most disturbing and emotionally charged scenes to date. What began as a heated confrontation quickly spiraled out of control. Vicky, determined to challenge Joel about his growing aggression and misogynistic behavior, stood her ground, refusing to let him intimidate her any longer. But her defiance only fueled his rage. In a moment of unrestrained fury, Joel struck her hard across the face, the impact sending her crashing to the floor. The silence that followed was deafening, broken only by Vicky's pained gasps as she tried to process what had just happened. But instead of remorse, Joel's response was even more chilling. In a grotesque act of dominance, he pulled out his phone and began filming her, capturing her fear and humiliation as he continued his vicious attack. It was a scene that left viewers horrified, not just by the brutality itself, but by the cold detachment in Joel's eyes. This storyline, which began with subtle hints of Joel's toxic behavior, has now descended into full-blown horror. What once seemed like unsettling arrogance has revealed itself as deep-seated hatred and control. The writing team deserves credit for their unflinching portrayal. They've managed to expose the terrifying reality of abuse without sensationalizing it, allowing the emotional weight to speak for itself. It's difficult to watch, but EastEnders is using this moment to shine a light on a deeply important issue, the cycle of violence, denial, and manipulation that so often goes unseen behind closed doors. The performances, particularly from Max Marshall as Joel and the actress playing Vicky, have been nothing short of extraordinary, raw, brave, and heartbreakingly real. As Walford reels from the aftermath, the question now is, what happens next? Will Vicky find the strength to report Joel's assault? Will the truth finally come out, and at what cost? After such a devastating climax, all eyes will be on next week's episodes to see how the Square responds to this shocking act of violence and whether justice for Vicky is truly within reach.